Welcome to Conversations with Mr. A. This is your host, Anthony Abastilla, school counselor here at Chimacum Junior and Senior High. I'll be interviewing students, staff, community members, outside community members, hoping to provide them a voice to share their perspectives and insights. Hello and welcome to another edition of Conversations with Mr. A. This is your host, Anthony Abastilla. And this week, I've got my own intern, Emily Eldridge. Emily, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, Emily, let's get started. So, what program and school are you currently in?
I am working on getting my Master's of Education in School Counseling, and that's through Grand Canyon University, which is actually in Phoenix, Arizona.
Can you tell me a little bit about your background, just your work background, where you've been, what you've done?
Yeah, so I graduated with my bachelor's in psychology. To be honest, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I kind of graduated and then decided to go into social work because I like people and I thought that might be the right field for me. And I've been actually doing social work for almost 7 years now in like a variety of different fields and areas. And I really enjoyed it, but I sort of realized that I wanted to be more of a school setting.
Okay. I understand you actually have family members that went here to Chimacum. Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah. So I'm married to Quinn Eldridge, who his family has lived in Chimacum for a long time. His parents live here, grandparents, cousins, things like that. As it goes with Chimacum, there's a lot of family members. So not many of my personal family live here, but a lot of his family lives here.
Did you go to school close to the area here, or outside?
Yeah, so I went to school in Port Angeles, at Port Angeles High School, actually. So not too far away from here.
How was it over there?
It was good, yeah. I liked it there. I felt like it was similar to here in some ways, in the way that it was a pretty small school still. Like, I knew most of the other students there, and we had that, like, nice community. And I graduated with, everyone that I graduated with I knew. So that was kind of neat. But Chimacum's definitely a bit smaller than Port Angeles, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's the internship experience been for you here at this point?
So bad.
Yeah? Oh, no. Am I doing a bad job?
No, it's been good. It's been good. So, as you know, I started with my second internship here, and I'm on to my third, which is my final one. And it's been really good so far. My first one was in an elementary school, which was amazing. But I really enjoy working with teenagers and working in a high school setting. And I've learned a lot. Like, you've taught me a lot about, like, graduation requirements and just things like that. And I've just really enjoyed just getting to know the students and the staff and stuff here. Everyone's so nice and friendly. So it's been fun.
You mentioned you like working with the teenagers. Expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, so, in social work, I've worked in a lot of different fields. I worked at a residential facility for my first couple of years in social work, so I kind of got to, like, get to know a lot of kids that were, I guess you could say, like, struggling, like, behaviorally. And so, like, I really enjoyed, like, just working with them and getting to know them, and I felt like they had a lot of potential, and that, if, like, there's people that saw that in them and that could, like, support them, I noticed that just that, like, support and encouragement, like, could make a huge difference in some kids' lives. So just, like, starting off there and getting to know those, like, awesome, quirky personalities, I was like, I think I like this. And I've worked with, like, families in social work. I work, like, with foster kids now. So I just really enjoy just, like, getting to know everyone's different personalities and, like, kind of getting to help guide students towards, where they want to be, and just being that sort of, like, positive support in their lives.
What's your philosophy working with kids?
Well, I would say, like, for instance, my counseling philosophy is very person-centered. And what I mean by that would be, like, I like the idea of unconditional positive regard. So that idea of that is basically, like, you support and think positively, and there's no judgment, and you just allow that, like, safe space for students. And so I try to do that when I'm meeting with students, just, like, no matter what they say or, whatever it is, like I hope that students will feel safe to be able to just come and speak to me. And so just like allowing that space and kind of guiding the conversation to kind of get, allow them to talk through their problems or to come up with a solution. That's kind of what I try to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious, so you've done social work for a number of years. You'll be moving to the realm of school counseling. What brought you in to school counseling? What attracted you?
It's a good question. Well, I would say because I played sports, so I played volleyball in college, and I played softball in high school, and I just always really liked, like, coaching. And so, like, when I was in social work, I was like, this is kind of cool. I like this, but I just felt like school counseling was that right middle ground where I could, like, work with kids and guide them, rather than at times in social work it can feel a little bit like you're responding after a lot of, bad things have happened. And of course you can still make a difference, but I felt like in a school it would be great to be able to start off with kids and help really guide them to be more successful. And I always felt, when I was in high school, I felt like I didn't get a ton of guidance. Like, I had no idea what I wanted to do after high school, like, for my career, because I never really got a lot of guidance in that. I never really barely even met with my school counselor, so I just felt like it would be cool to be that person that could help guide students, like help talk about career options, talk with them about, like, any social emotional issues in school, academic, any stuff like that. I just wanted to kind of be that person that students felt like they could go to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, not if, but when you get that first school counselor job.
When?
What do you hope to establish?
Oh, gosh. Well, I would love to establish, like, a comprehensive school counseling program. Like, I'd love to come in and do, like, focus on career, social, emotional, and academic needs for students. I know that's a huge, big task. So I'm just hoping to start on that process and really, like, I know you and I were, like, just talking about this the other day, of just, like, starting that process and building it up. And really, like, my goal is to eventually have, like, a very comprehensive school counseling program that kind of, like, hits all of the points. I heard this, I guess I would say, like, story when we were at the school counseling conference that I thought was really great. And they were saying that, like, if you're by a river and you keep seeing babies float down the river and you're like, oh no, we have to rescue the baby, like, let's get the baby out. And it's like, you're just responding to, like, what's the real problem. So instead of doing that, someone goes upstream and finds that there's like a gate open to a daycare, and that's why. And so you just shut the gate. And so the idea of that is, like, being preventative and helping people before, instead of just, like, constantly responding, you're being preventative and you're, like, taking that action to help before it gets to that point. And so, like, that would be my goal, would just be, like, that preventative force in people's lives.
That kind of leads to the next question. What do you foresee as some future challenges?
Well, I think that creating a comprehensive program like that is not just something that you do like that. It's not just something that happens. So I think the main challenge with that would just be, like, trying to implement as much as possible, because I know that a lot of times there's so much going on. Like, I've seen you and I've seen my previous site supervisor, be very busy. There's a lot going on. You got to help with students. So I think one of the biggest challenges would just be, like, trying to learn all these new things coming in, and then also trying to, like, implement these new things. And I just think that it's going to be something that takes time. And so I have to remind myself of that. But yeah, I think that's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that I accept and I welcome, because I think it'll be a good learning opportunity. So
I think you're gonna be a fun counselor, actually.
Thanks.
That first year, I'm thinking about the first. So when you get to your first job, how do you envision setting up your office? Any fun things you want to set up for your office?
You didn't warn me
thoughts?
about this question.
No, I didn't.
No. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I guess that depends on the space. I hope to have have the time to be able to decorate. I think putting in things that are like educational, like that could, have coping skills and ways to use them, or my old site supervisor had, she was talking about, she had the brain and like how you can flip your lid. And so I think like things like that students can look at and be like, what's that about? And can like spark a conversation would be cool to have. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait till I get there, and like maybe I'll get some help in doing that, because I'm not always the most like best decorator or creative, but gather a little bit of support.
I think you can come up with some fun things.
My sister-in-law is a kindergarten teacher, so she's really good at like those creative, artistic, creative stuff, so maybe she'll help me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So along the way with your internship, I would also say your career, who's helped and mentored you throughout the years up to this point?
Oh, yeah. Well, I would say starting off, my dad used to always tell me, you know what you should do? You should be a teacher and you should be a coach. And I'd be like, heck no, I'm not going to do that. And here I am, getting my master's in education.
Yeah.
So I would say he's always really been like a huge support and mentor for me. And he still to this day like supports me a lot. And then, like, obviously, like, my previous site supervisor, Ellen, she's a great mentor. I learned a lot from her. And then you have helped me a lot, too. I mean, you've been teaching me for, I think, 12 or 13 weeks now. We're almost done here. So I think I've gotten a lot of guidance. I've probably even missed some people that have helped guide me, but I've been really fortunate. I think I've gotten a lot of really positive influences and guidances in my journey so far.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, here comes the fun game, the word association. So I'm going to shoot you some words or phrases.
Okay.
Tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh, okay.
The first one is always my favorite. Pickles.
Delicious.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart with that. Taylor Swift.
Great.
All right. Seahawks.
Anti-hero. I want to say Russell Wilson, but no. Geno Smith.
Geno Smith? All right. All right. Ted Lasso?
I love that show.
Okay. Rap.
Ew.
Ew. Okay. Okay. Hygiene.
Hygiene? Important.
Yeah? How's that?
Hygiene?
Yeah.
I feel like that's self-explanatory.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Techno music.
Not for me.
Not for you. Relaxing music.
I love relaxing music. Noah Can. He has the best music. Check him out.
All right. Rowdy students.
They could be fun.
How so?
Well, I mean, rowdy students, like, they're having a good time. They're happy. I think sometimes, we got to calm down a little bit so we can have a conversation. But I think they can be a fun time. Okay. It depends on the place. The time and place is important.
Fair enough. How about disruptive students?
I don't know. I guess we're going to have a conversation.
They have ups and downs.
Yeah. Hey, I think sometimes disruptive students are just the ones that maybe need a little extra attention and support.
From TLC.
Yeah.
Love and support.
Mm-hmm.
Well, any final words you want to tell our listeners?
No, I'm just happy to be a part of this, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, Ellie. And that concludes this week's episode of Conversations with Mr. A, featuring Emily Eldridge. I really feel like Emily's got a great future ahead of her. She's going to be a great school counselor when she finishes here. Really going to miss her when she finishes up at the end of May. Anyways, stay tuned for the next episode of Conversations with Mr. A. We'll see you next week.